Hey guys, I am back again. I figured I would finish up this little project while it's still hanging out on my desk. Let's see what we got going on here. So these are the bracelets we did. So the one of them is done with the clear liquid polymer clay and a heat gun, and the other one is just raw and sanded, and looking really good. I'm loving them. And then this guy came out of the oven and it's stinking epic. And the jar didn't crack the rest of the way, so it's still technically usable. Probably not safe. I should probably throw that out. But I do want to sand out the back side. I think some of the colorant got hung up on the jar. So we're going to go ahead and sand that out. And we're going to sand these out. And then depending on how much time we have and how loud the dogs get, we'll, oh, yeah, that's the ruler set. That's Dahlia's, etched Dahlias and tiny double tall is what we're using for this project. So yeah, and then these are still floating around. Those came out of the oven. This was back to that project the other day with the grunge stuff. So if there's extra time, we might finish those out too. I love the way those came out. Those are really neat. So essentially, I made the beads, cut them out, and then I put the extra cuttings, the shavings from the Makumegani veneer we did the other day on it after I already had it. So you can kind of see here. I already had it cut out and shaped, and then put the Makumegane shavings on it, and then recut at the edge of what was hanging over. And I think those came out great. So yeah, let's go ahead and grab. Oh, actually, let me throw this on Facebook real quick so everybody can find us here. Give me half a second. Share Facebook newsfeed, and yes, I'm on the right one. Yay! Okie dokie. All right, so just keep that loaded up. So it's on the background. Okay. Find my sandy blocks and go and start with this one. And just kind of find how it wants to be sanded. This one's definitely easier to sand out than the other one was because it is flat curvature, not this one actually has like a convex curvature because it was done on a jar that has a convex curvature. So this is definitely easier to finish this way once it's flat. Yeah, kind of what I want to do is just have color set in all those little nooks and crannies from the Dahlia's patterning. If anyone's curious about which roller that is, I forget where I put it because I put it back away. But it's the Dahlia's pattern. So we've got etched Dahlias on the outside and Dahlias on the inside. And descend, 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 descend. Outside edge to be just softly roughed in, not too polished looking. Definitely loving this kind of organic feel to all of this stuff. Coming out really pretty. Oops. Oh, still think it would have been smarter to have cut both layers at the same time. So put our pattern on the back piece, lay it face down, put our pattern on the top piece, lay it face up, and then cut through. Probably would have been our best way to do this and get the best effect. Okay. And then we'll swap to the other side. I like it. I like it a lot. I think that's a very, very, very pretty inside, especially on the blue end. I love that shade of blue. That's a really good blue. Let me hit this with just a little bit more sanding because it looks like it didn't. Assuming the pigment just kind of eats a couple layers deeper into the clay because it's definitely sanding to the parts where it should be just beige clay and red interior. But it looks like that red's got a little bit of a bleed effect, more so than anything else did. Alrighty, so I'm going to just buff that up real quick so it's comfortable on your arm. I think with this, we're definitely going to have to put some holes in the end and string it because I was trying to wear it earlier already. I had it in my hand and ended up around the dog, the Rottweiler, not the Papillons. And he was fascinated by it, so I put it on my wrist instead of carrying it because that made it mine and not something that could be of his. And then he left it alone. Till the point I put it on my wrist. He was like, "Ooh, can I play with that?" Like, no, bad dog. But it did fly off at some point. So, but it also was that bottle that was a little wider. Oh, this fits my wrist nicely. This is a little too wide anyway. So even though I cold set it a little bit more snug than it actually was, it still wants to go back to that original shape that it started out with, or that it was cooked with. So that's how it wants to sit. So once it's on, it's just a little too loose so that if something knocks it just right at that angle, it'll come right off. So it might be smart to go ahead and put some sort of hook and loop closure on it, or run a string through it and just have like a full string or something. But I'm probably not going to try to figure that out tonight. I'll figure it out another time. Yeah, having a little bit of a after dinner comatose feeling. Didn't want to leave this stuff sitting all over my desk. And I didn't want to finish it up without you guys getting to see how it finishes out. So, right, so this is my big 80 grit mat. Really pull some this mess off of here. Cut back and open up our dahlias. All right, it should be good. And that version. My favorite things about baking on tile, even though I have to deal with the backs and do something back there, I love how easy it is to sand the fronts. It's a nice finish on the front. I'm very happy. All right. Garbage can over closer. And voila. Very, very pretty. A bit buff going on now. Just make sure it feels finished. I don't think I'm going to bother putting the liquid clay on this. I think it's really pretty without it. It's got enough sheen to it. It's got a neat effect. And I like the a little bit more casual, like almost ceramics feel it has. The Rottenweiler is in a mood tonight. Dad's not playing along. Guys. Enough. Come on, I know. Yeah, we probably won't be able to stay long doing this. House says it's wake up time. It's not lazy time. So back, as you can see, if I can get there, we go. So that's what happens when you bake on tile. So pluses and minuses. But I'm almost definitely going to sand the backs anyway in most circumstances. So I prefer the benefits of having that nice steady surface to sand the front on to make sure that it comes out the way I want it to. Definitely bugs my hands to have to hold too many pieces, little tiny clay pieces for too long for sanding. And see what I'm doing. Just getting rid of all the stuff that got hung up on there. It's all our leftover paint. Once it bakes, the stuff is really solid. And in case anybody is curious and didn't see this live stream earlier, I did link where to find that those stains to get that colorization. I do have those linked on the earlier stream. So the stream right before this one, they're linked. Okie dokie. So now let's get the backs of these sanded. And I definitely want that big mat because I want to get rid of a lot of that. So if you can catch the light. Yep, dropsy. Food coma time. Yeah, this is the half I sanded. Okay. So that's the part I already just, you saw, just very lightly sanded. So now it's a satin finish instead of a hard sheen with all the spots in it. So it's usually pretty quick to get that to come back to a nice little smooth satiny finish instead of having all that gloss and the funky patterning to it and such. Sometimes, on a rare occasion, I like that, but I usually don't like the pitted effect it gets from being on the tile, so I will almost always sand it back. And hit a nice little 45-degree angle, just to double that edge back. Again, this 80 grit block just does a nice job very quickly. So now I can't even find that sheen line at all. Like caught all up in that and can't find anything. So don't even have to do more than that. You can go ahead and hit it up with just a little bit more of a sanding process if you want to make sure that you've got just an extra smooth feel. But to be honest, even just at that 80 grit, it's plenty. But you can polish it up to match the same way you do the front. Nice, clean little surface. Oh, guys. They're having fun too. Everybody says it's the day to be feisty. It's been raining like crazy the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 days. The last 2 days have been ridiculous. So they're all kind of like a little bit stir crazy. Normally, I would have taken them out for a run in the big yard before trying to settle them in, but it's so wet out there. I don't want to deal with a bunch of wet rats. So there we go. That is Tiffany. I'll probably put a hole in it and do it kind of wide ways, and then just put multiple rings in it. I think that'd be really pretty. It's one of my favorite ways to finish jewelry at the moment. Let's see. Do I have anything over here? One ring. But a lot of times, what I'll do is I'll just put like 2 or 3 in together. It looks really pretty. Other thing I started playing around with is wire wrapping a little bail. I wanted that to have a little stone to it, so I did a little wire wrap. Don't ask me how I did that. I don't remember. ADD is fun. Oh, I have this great idea. Will I remember it in 20 minutes? Nope. I have to expect that half of you guys watching are somewhere on the spectrum of ADHD. Most of us, I find a lot of creative folks are quite on that spectrum of ADHD or autism. And I consider it a superpower, not a disability. It can be a royal pain in the butt and it can interfere with a lot of very basic life stuff, but the ability to hyper focus in and really go nuts on something that most people wouldn't even ever think to try in the first place is really cool. I love it. Yep, all the sheen is gone, and it's just a nice, clean finish. Oh, wait, wait, wait. I found the tiniest bit of sheen. Okay. All right, there we go. Those aren't going to be thin skin, so they're fine. Brush the tile off. Just to the garbage can. Okie dokie. Smack the blades around. Why not? That sounds like a fun thing to do. Okay, so probably gonna need to find a Dremel. I don't think. Yeah, I'm not gonna bring my big drill press over here. It's already plugged in elsewhere, so that would be more drama than it's worth. It's sort of important not to try to drill into tile black. Trying to think. I don't have anything over here otherwise, so I'm gonna just start my holes and then I'm going to set them off. So I usually just kind of eyeball it. And I usually just kind of use it like a pencil and just be like, okay, I want it to go there, and I let it break that surface first before going truly downward. And a lot of times I'll double check on the back. It looks like I'm a little bit offset that way. So like I said, I wanted to do this roughly 3 wide, so I'm actually going to go over a good notch. Another hole off to that side. And then I'm going to interconnect them just by taking it sideways. Now we got to break through. Could have found a bigger drill bit. I still want it to go left and right anyway. So, more of a slot than a hole. All right, so that is done. You are probably right about there. Yep. And go through. That's good. Anything here. A little to the left and ended up a little to the right. Okay. And it's just a cheapy Amazon drill. Got handful of different ones, to be honest. And then my man found me an awesome drill press thingy, which is my favorite, but it's kind of hard to get on camera, so I'm not going to try. And drilling out that much today. Um, I haven't decided what I want to do here. I could either put screw eyes in the ends and then try to just put a little hook and loop on there, or I could come up with something else. Wires. Gotten this para wire, which is really kind of awesome. The 20 gauge is the one I use the most. 18, 20, there you are. Oh, 20. You get somewhere on that set. And then wire tools I like are something to nip with. I use the staggered, I don't even know what the heck these things are called. I don't have a name on them, but staggered set to roll my ear wires. And then I like to have something that's plastic, like has the pads on it to help straighten out wire and give it some support. And what's really cool about this one is it's single closing, so it keeps even pressure. Like it's a funky hinge system that keeps even pressure the whole way. So it doesn't pinch like most of these things have more pressure on one end or the other. Those are evenly closed like this. So they don't like close like this. They close even. They're really neat. Like that. Tap on. Sorry. Oh gosh, yeah. I need to order more of this sooner than later. All right, so thinking I was just gonna do a little triple ring set on that, and I'm sure it's gonna need to be the big rings. So we will grab from the end, twirl around, spinning. It tends to like get a little bit bigger than I want it. Be a little quirky trying to get it to snug enough on that first loop I do. And just pull it tighter. So there's 3 loops. I'm gonna go ahead and do a 4th one because that first one usually just kind of loses. I want them all to exactly match. I'm probably gonna leave that first one out. So we just get a little coil built together like that. How to make your own jump rings in case you're wondering. And then I'm going to line them all up on that same cut point. I'm actually going to recut that first one's tip. Snip through, and there's a whole set of matching jump rings. Now I don't know which was the first one. That one's a little bigger. That's off to the side. Thought I had another pair of regular things. I'm always losing things. There they are. Over by the drill. All right. So what I'm going to do is this is just a cheapy little the Beadsmith is the brand on these. It's just a cheapy little set. But you open jump rings, you always want to take them sideways. On. And then give it a close again. Guys. Sounds like Havoc's still getting into trouble. Shush. Which makes them want to yell at him. Excuse me, Havoc. Mind your manners. It's so funny. He's got a couple of the boys are his buds, but the girls all hate him still. He's just such a puppy and he has no respect. It's hilarious. He's like 80 to 90 pounds of muscle and lunatic. And they're just like, yep, nope, you're not allowed to play in our path. Come on, giant. There we go. I think one of the next things I want to start playing with is like geometry and shapes and jewelry pieces. So maybe we'll have fun exploring that together. Always scrolling Facebook or whatever, YouTube, or flipping through books and just seeing how people do stuff and just letting my head get full of ideas. And then get to my desk and I just start playing. And usually some of that stuff just shows up. It was an interesting time in school because I didn't do well if I studied or tried too hard. I had to be very casual about learning, and the information was just there. Try too hard, study too much, put too much attention, obsess over things, and it's harder to learn that way, I think. I got lucky enough to be in classes where I could either just get away with it or the teachers didn't care, but I just sit there with my sketchbook and just be doodling. And as I was drawing and teachers were talking, I'd just pick it up. And it would show up in my brain when I needed it. It was great. There you go. So yeah, I like that because it's better than just a single one, and it's way less likely to get lost. Um, let me see. Cord sitting right here. I can string that so you guys can see what that looks like. Okay. So just a little more interesting visual interest than just a straight up single jump ring. Not nearly as much work as trying to figure out how I tied those intricate wire knots. All right. And then for the earring holders for those, on the longer side. So this is where I like to have these guys because they just help to straighten out this wire when it gets kind of curled up from having been rolled. So I usually try to do that. And then I need to get this written down. I think it's usually 2 1/4. Then it's 2 1/2 when I want the longer ones, but yeah, I'm pretty sure 2 1/2 is my longer length. So I happen to have a measuring guide on my mat, the purple mat underneath, so I just use that. Oop, oh no, started to bend already. I didn't mean to. Okay, so alrighty, two even lengths, about 2 1/2 inches. And how I build these out is start usually with this guy, the hole. All the way tight, a little bit fast, take it back. I believe that's going to be plenty big. So I find the reason I like to make my own ear wires is I like this big old giant hole on them, or ring on them, because especially when I'm using heavier, like fatter polymer clay, like this might not actually even be big enough for this set this time around. We'll see. And I don't prefer having too many joins. Again, I don't trust jump rings to not fail. So I want the whole ear wire to hang the piece of jewelry. I like that, but that is too tight. So take that off. Set piece aside for later. Another couple pieces. I'm gonna go to a full 3 inches this time. Probably gonna be too long. Probably have to cut some of that off. Oop, get back here. That is the one thing to be aware of. Fire likes to catapult off. All right, so I snip the one I'm measuring. That often happens. So when I go to snip the ones I'm working on, I usually just snip it in my hand. And that way I keep the wire. Okay, so there's one other thing I wanted to. Nope. Over here is my handy dandy bead tray. So often when I build out earrings, I showed you earlier, is I like to put a little rhinestone on it. So no, most of them, when you buy the little cheesy ones, they just got a little bead sitting there. I like to put a little rhinestone on them. So See what I mean about having that plenty of room for that to dangle and that to actually move around. So I like it to have that much movement, and then I like having bead on it. So that's the shape I'm aiming for. And I usually do them relatively short shanked. I don't like them super long shanked either. That's why I don't like hanging a whole bunch of jump rings under the jewelry piece, the purchase type. That's how I ended up making them on my own. So we were the fourth size. I'm going to go with that fifth size, which is a huge ring. Just pinch it, roll it all the way around. All the way to that again. Tiny bit past. And hike it back. That should do it. A bit more folded. There we go. And getting that correct. There we go. Not those beads. Sideways. That's the right size loop for it. And then I might want to have a little fun with beads, which is why I went with a longer wire than usual. Because I think I want to hang some bead colors in there. I was wondering. So I got this new set, but looking at the holes on those are, I guess I can try one. I don't think they're going to fit on that wire. I don't think there's any chance in the world that they can fit on that wire. Something I found at Hobby Lobby. I think, pretty sure the rhinestone set came from Hobby Lobby also. Just gonna stick in here. I'm not too sure. I'm not gonna be able to get any in there. Yeah, there's no way those are gonna fit. Nope. Okay. What I thought. And just go in a Ziploc baggie or something so I can't lose it. All right. These guys do fit though. So I'm thinking what has honestly it's kinda like that. Hmm. The red is too red, I think. I don't think the red's gonna do it. Kind of orange. But I don't know. That's like too yellow. And that's the greeny blue. I was thinking 3 colors, not 4. 5 is a lot. So yeah, that's definitely way too long. So if I was to shorten it, I'm almost thinking going with the orangey and the goldy. Come here. Goldy and the greeny blue. I think that'll do. Okay, so nice and straight. I want my flat ones. I like these for this because they're nice and wide and flat. I just grab them directly above. Just give it a good little 45-degree turn. And then reach them in here. You can see, where you can see. So I get this straight that way. And then I will grab this. Make sure that we are upright. And we'll take that around. Back. I will probably about a half an inch long. Those go into the garbage before I lose track of them. And there we go. I love it. Kind of huge, but in a very fun way. I don't know why. The last couple times I've made jewelry with you guys, I'm making these huge earrings. I like it. It's pretty. Yeah, those colors go just right with it. Okay, so now the question is, can we build a second one? Make it match. Always the tricky part. Right, so it was the second largest loop, the base loop. Sorry, I get looking at stuff. All right, and then spin it around. The end is right here. Uphill again. And your little thing. Use the smaller ones to just kind of try to fold on that a little bit. There we go. And fold away. And from the top, get it through. Encourage it to match up. Make sure it's loopy enough that it dangles nicely. You get a good little wobble wobble there. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Put those guys back where I got them from. And that was from these. And these. You can do it. The greeny blue guys. Okay. Flat ones. Forward. Off of there so we have a nice little L. And then make sure that we are that way. Straight down. Everything's relatively in line. And over. Like that. You guys can see it there. Loop around, and then I just grab that last bottom bit and put the little critter out. There we go. And that set of super dangles. And there we go. Yep, you did a good job of getting those to match up too. So, ta-da! Super dangles. Now it'd be nice to come up with a way to put some of the rhinestones on that. Some spare wire to play with over here. It's already got half of a loop in it. Oh, no, no. Hey, no, we don't need to yell. You guys are fine. Up, 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 up. Come here, Lumiere. Lumiere. You're good. Enough, guys. They say it's never enough. Never, ever enough. All right, all right, all right, all right. Thank you. I want to one. I want to go opposite because it's going to be laying on top of it. Karma. There you go. Don't yell at it. You're going to get cookies. Parmy, come here. Come here, rascal. I know. You're a little lost child. You're a crazy girl. It's very barky. All right. So let's see. I'm thinking to go like this. Toby and Nancy. Lucy. She's pregnant. She thinks she rules the world. I think she's pregnant. She's acting like she's pregnant. We shall see. She's about 3 weeks in. So that's looking good. You can see it. And then now I want to run back the other direction. In there somewhere. No, not. Mm. Whoops. Alrighty. That guy down there's hung up, but I lost this one. I was wanting to get the thing there. Oh, ah, no! Ah, I was quick with that cat. Trying to get lost and run away, and I saved it. Okay. So, in order to get its thing up there, I need to make sure that that's curved enough that it's not going to pass it. And then reverse our curve. Here. Stay. And that last one is this color. And then I want to make sure that that curves far enough. That should do it. Now, see. Okay. Oh, did you pull me? Oh, I'm back. Okay. Man is doing some tinkering. Oh, lost my. Did I lose my catch? No. Okay. They're still caught where I want them to be. Okay. So, tiny one. That one's now. Just fight it. Spin. Okay. Now, oops. Bring it there and see if we like it. Thinking what I can do actually is just open that a hair, goes in, and then close it back up. And I just close it that way. You guys trying to run away. Stay put. There we go. Oh, wait, you're supposed to go lower. There we go. Just gives it an interesting little dangle on there. I don't think it's too distracting from the piece. I think the piece is still very cool. There we go. Yep. Okay, there we go. And now we have, it wants to ride up when it's not hanging, but once it's hanging, it stays put. There we go. So that's how we finish those guys out. Now, has me wondering how I want to finish this. If I can get any, I don't think I need to try to put rhinestones on that too. It's already plenty. Yeah, I think I'll leave it alone. I wonder what he did. You, you guys notice what he actually did? Let me know, because I have no idea. So yeah, there's that. And then there's this big old statement piece, which is really pretty. And a pair of earrings. So I am willing to call that an end for the night. I think that whole set is absolutely fun. So yeah, I'm glad you guys hung out with me while working on this. And I hope to see you all on the next one. You guys have a wonderful evening and happy crafting.